Hello, Internet. The Morgan You Know podcast network presents Balls and Brew.
Welcome to the Fast Break, the fastest 15 minutes in the NBA. You know, there are times in life when you're just happy to be a sports fan. And last night, as we sit here tonight, was one of those nights. I am here with a very happy Chris King. Chris, how are you today?
I am excellent. I just really have one question. How high did that ball bounce off the heel of the rim?
I have so many jokes right now. I can't. You know that episode of Friends when Chandler, I always go back when he goes, too many jokes. Yeah, I can't. I got nothing. Rod, speaking of high, Rod, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. Yes, sirs. Go Pacers. I used to live in the Circle City for a little while in my life, Jimmy, and I have not really missed the traffic and the just overall commercialism of Indy, but I would love to be in that city on Sunday. You got the Pacers Knicks game 3, you got the Indianapolis 500 all happening at the same time. That place will be going crazy.
You actually don't want to be anywhere near that city on Sunday. But yeah, I see your point for sure. As listeners know, I was very fortunate to go to Game 6 last year between the Knicks and the Pacers, and that was amazing. I can't get over how it's going to be on Sunday, though. I think the Indianapolis 500 might not have as many people as Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Well, maybe not. What point did you think the game was not over? Is my question, because with like 5 minutes left, it was still 14, 15 points. And I said, it's not over yet, guy. I didn't think it was over. Now, it was about 90% joking, 10% real, but it kept going. I mean, was there a point when you're like, they could still win this, Rod?
Absolutely. I mean, after what we saw from the Pacers at the beginning of this playoffs and after what we've seen from them consistently since basically January, I mean, this is one of the best teams in the NBA, right? People can talk about Indianapolis's market size and what ratings may be like if a small, market team like the Pacers get to the finals, but this is a good team. This team plays winning basketball. This team plays unselfish basketball, and they are absolutely not scared. Now, do I believe that Aaron Nesmith is as good of a three-point shooter as Steph Curry? No.
Yes.
But the Pacers needed those shots last night, and he hit every single stinking one of them. And there's just something about this team. They have no quit. They don't get scared. Like the Celtics won a championship last year and somehow look worse in late game situations than the Pacers do. It's absolutely amazing.
That was my next question for Chris. I've noticed that teams down the stretch, Chris, get scared. The Knicks almost had 2 turnovers late in the game. Brunson and Towns both almost turned the ball over, just like happened in the Milwaukee series. The Pacers, though, they're not scared of anything, are they?
They're not acting like it, that's for sure. They haven't backed down from anything. And I don't think anybody really believes Naismith is Steph Curry now, because it's not just Naismith,
He's better
right?
than Steph Curry, thank you.
It's whoever needs to comes up with big buckets, right? And there was times I definitely thought it's like, okay, this is maybe too much, because listen, the Knicks didn't stop making shots, right? They were still playing good basketball those last 5-6 minutes of the game, right? So it wasn't like there was some big collapse that happened that facilitated this comeback. No, the Knicks were still playing good, solid basketball.
They were. We don't talk about religion very much on this show. It's one of the other shows on the Morgan You Know Podcasting Network. There are no basketball gods anymore, right? Like, they're just gone. The Mavericks won the draft lottery. Remember that? That happened like a week ago. The Mavericks won the draft lottery. Tyrese Halliburton hits a 2-point shot and gives the Reggie Miller choke sign for a tie, and the Pacers still win. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know if they're around anymore, Rod.
Tyrese is a guy who us as wrestling fans, we have to appreciate his willingness to play a character to up the entertainment factor. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd have been going to the choke symbol in the game one of the series. I mean, it certainly was a game you could qualify as a choke by the Knicks, but there's still so many games left to go in the series that, man, even if like that would have been a 3-pointer to win game one, I think that he ends up catching some guff for that if they end up losing the series. So I just think his mistake was pulling it out in game one. But I got to admit, I loved it because I loved Reggie Miller.
Chris?
Well, when Reggie pulled it out, it wasn't a clinching game either. That was game 4, I believe. And it just so happened to be in New York. I think we tied the series when Reggie pulled that out. So I don't see it as a big problem. He thought he hit a 3. Listen, I about lost my mind when I saw him turn around and run backwards. I was like, what are you doing? You're right there. You can reach the rim. But
you don't have to play like Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do what the Celtics do. You can actually shoot at the rim.
Right? So I about lost it, and I can't believe it went in. And I thought for a second it could have been a 3 until I saw the replay and saw his toe on the line. But boy,
yeah. So obviously the Jamriska household here was going insane for every single second of that fourth quarter. Shout out to Izzy's team for wrapping up the district championships early so we could come home. Very glad about that. They got second place. Thank you for the 10-run rule to get us out of there early. But we were jumping up and down. Then all of a sudden, my son Jackson goes, "It was only a 2." And I think that's kind of when everyone realized that, oh, it was only a 2. And then he goes, "Oh, no, he did the choke." And then he thought we were going to lose. I thought it was – what an amazing game, Rod.
You just have to love to see the entertainment factor that has been on ample supply here during these playoffs, right? It's not just been games by the Pacers. We've had great games between the Clippers and the Nuggets in the first round. We had a great series between the Clippers and the Thunder in the second round. I mean, we've just seen some great play in these NBA playoffs. And Jimmy, I don't want to break fully negative on the NBA here, but I got to say, all that it's been made clear to me is 82 games is entirely too much. I don't want to hear any more about the owners having to guarantee their gate. Their game will literally be better if they just get over themselves and cut down the number of regular season games.
Well, all they can do, Rod, is just raise ticket prices. That's all. Just put them, 1.5 up? They're going to raise them anyway. Raise them a little bit more. They have to. You're seeing all these good players out for this and next season. And it really isn't, it stinks. It does. But we are getting really good basketball. And you didn't mention the T-Wolves and Thunder, who right now are embroiled in a really good matchup. Yeah, the first game they were close for a while there until the Thunder kind of went away. Chris, if you are the Thunder, who do you want to play, Pacers or Knicks?
If I'm the Thunder, I don't think I'm worried about either. Right?
I don't think they have a chance, either the Pacers or Knicks against the Thunder. If the Thunder, go ahead.
Oh, I think the Pacers have a real good shot at beating whoever comes out of the West. If I'm the Thunder, though, I am coming into these playoffs as the number 1 seed in the toughest conference, essentially, because the West was tough. Let's not be unrealistic here. And they essentially dominated the West all season long. Why would I be worried about whoever comes out of the East?
Jimmy, I'll answer your question. The Thunder would much rather play the Knicks in the finals, okay? And the reason being the Knicks have basically one thing they're looking to do on offense, and that is Jalen Brunson operate and make something happen. So it becomes much easier for the Thunder to figure out what they want to do defensively, knowing that the Knicks basically only have one thing they want to do. The Pacers don't have a thing that they want to do other than pass the basketball. That's it. They can shoot threes. They can drive to the hole. Is it Neesmith? Is it Nembhard? Is it Turner? Is it Siakam? Is it Toppin? You don't have any idea. So I think that the Thunder would much rather play the Knicks because it's easier to scope out what the Knicks are going to do.
And then I really want to talk about this officiating going on in the playoffs right now. And this is for both sides. How do you think they determine is it like every other one their call, or there's a difference between letting them play and people are getting brutalized underneath and they're just not calling anything. I don't I mean, I like that the game isn't just free throws at the end, but it is kind of ridiculous on some of these non-calls, Chris.
The one thing you want as a player is you want it to at least be consistent. If you're going to call it close in the first quarter, keep calling it close in the fourth, right? You don't want to all of a sudden get used to playing a certain way for 30 minutes and then all of a sudden have to play a completely different way. That's the biggest issue I have. And that doesn't matter if they're letting them play or calling it close, just do it consistently. And then you don't have to worry about this end of the game stuff, because if the refs are keeping the same type of calls throughout the entire game, then you can just see that's how they call the entire game. They're going to keep calling it at the end.
Rod, you grew up in the 90s, unlike Chris, who grew up in the 60s and 70s, and there was a lot more heated basketball. Do you like that more, or would you like to see actual fouls being called fouls?
It's such a tough call because I echo Chris's sentiments that I don't want officiating to become the star of the game, and I would rather see the playoff matchups be decided on the court. But he's right when he talks consistency, right? And it's not even just from one team to another team. It can sometimes be from one player in the first half to a second player in the second half. And that's where I start having problems, right? If you're going to call touch fouls every time Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gets bumped in the lane in the first half, then you still have to call those calls in the second half. But they don't want to call them in the second half because it's we're coming down to crunch time. Well, then I would say stop calling all of these touch fouls in the first half then, or call all of the touch fouls down the end of the game, because we can't have it both directions. We can't have guys getting absolutely brutalized, wanting to fight one another, and then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander still getting 16 free throws every time he barely gets touched. I'm not calling him a foul merchant, Jim, but nobody else in these playoffs is getting the amount of whistles that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is getting. He's just not. Nobody else is getting these touch fouls that he is getting.
And Brunson is trying, Chris. He's trying to get those calls.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's part of the uniform he's wearing, right? That's the Knicks type of mentality, right? They're going to play rough, they're going to play tough, and it takes a little bit more physicality to get a call when you are wearing that uniform. Unfortunately, I do think Tatum was close to SGA on getting a lot of fouls called. He got to the line pretty much whenever he wanted, and he didn't even have to drive to the basket to do it.
Speaking of SGA, breaking news from Shams.
That's just blatantly false. That's just blatantly false from Chris right there. Just blatantly false. We were complaining the entire series versus the Knicks that the Celtics did not drive. Jason Tatum did not shoot a lot of free throws. Like, that is just complete gobbledygook that he just said right there. But it sounded good when he was making his point.
SGA is your MVP is broken by Shams because the NBA just can't break it themselves. Heaven forbid they do that. 71 first place votes, 29 second place votes, and Jokic was the opposite of that. Did the right person win? I think they did. I think Shea deserved it. They won. They were in first place most of the year, running away with it. Best player on the best team. I think he deserved it. Chris? No.
It's hard for me to sit here and say the last year's MVP improved, but apparently that doesn't make him MVP this year, right? I mean, Jokic definitely managed to show us that he can improve the counting stats that go towards this MVP and prove that he is definitely the most valuable player to his team by far. So even if they are not the best team out of the West, they were one of the top 4 best teams out of the West, right? It's hard for me not to say Jokic deserved it this time. I think he had better stats. I think he's a better basketball player than Alexander. So, at that point in time, what are we doing?
Well, is it called the best basketball player, Rod? Who are you thinking?
I'm over the MVP. I'm absolutely over the MVP. It's a thing that we fight about every year. Nobody has any idea who should win it, who shouldn't win it. It all ends up having to do with the story. Jokic has won it before. His GM and his coach didn't get along, so the team didn't get along at the beginning of the year. That has absolutely zero to do with Jokic. The Thunder are a bunch of collegial guys who hang around and love playing with one another and support one another. So Shea wins 68 games. It's like, whatever, fine. Just wake me up at the end of the year when somebody wins the trophy. Haven't had an American win it in 7 years. I'm over the MVP.
Speaking of that, only 2 Canadians have ever won the MVP. SGA this year, and then one other MVP from Canada. Who can guess who that is? Multi-time MVP, actually, back-to-back MVP.
Would that be Moses Malone?
Moses
A little
Malone's not
sooner
Canadian.
than that. 2005, 2006.
Is your game MVP just like Steve Nash?
Yes, he is. He is exactly Steve Nash. Yes, Steve Nash won it in 2005 and 2006 for the MVP. Let's hit some...
Stole one of those from Shaq.
Oh, for the love. That's another thing. You know what? That's another thing, too. That's like, oh, they should have won. Why did they give it to him? I don't know. All the voters who vote every year gave it to him because he was the better player that year. We have our all-defensive team, and I know everyone comes to that us for the defensive team, but I did want to talk a little bit about it. It seems like players actually earned and deserved where they got here. First team, Evan Mobley. He's also the defensive player of the year. Dyson Daniels, Lou Dort, Draymond Green, and Amen Thompson is your first team all-NBA. Anything jump out at you for there, Chris?
I think we all know my hatred goes towards one person on that list.
He's always hated Dyson Daniels, Rod. He's just too much of a swing player for Chris.
So Lou Dort, his real name is Lou Gans Dort. I just want to point out that Lou Dort's father's name is Lou Frentz Dort. Just absolute chef's kiss. Just fabulous work by Lou Gans' dad to name his son sort of after him. Lou Frentz and Lou Gans. Gotta love it.
And then we had Gobert, Zubac, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams, and Toumani Camara for the Blazers. Let's go. You know, we got a shout out to Camara there for the Blazers. Can't go wrong with that. Now,
it's such a travesty that they got away from positions on the all defensive team. That's the other thing I want to say about this. We got 3 centers on the second team. Like they're going
to be. Yeah.
We're just awarding centers is all that defense has become in the NBA. Just congratulations. You were the 7-footer that could move his feet and block the most shots. Congratulations.
So you're on the Bill Simmons train on this. You're like old school positions, correct?
I just think that there's a lot of different ways that guys can play good defense, and it just really bums me out that we basically only give the Defensive Player of the Year award to centers.
Yeah, I really would like to see like some sort of like shooting versus type stat. If we could ever create one of those, like if you're the main defender on a guy and they're not getting quality shots off, or their scoring is below their normal per game average or whatever it may be, something to that effect. Because then you got guys that aren't getting the steals or the blocks because they're locking down a score, right? Sometimes that's tough to find.
We just had a week of celebrating Alex Caruso for all that he did to Jokic. You know what I mean? And then a guy like that can never win the Defensive Player of the Year award during the regular season because it's just, big men have to do more. Big men have to do more. Okay, fine, whatever. Wake me when the Defensive Player of the Years are given out then, because now I don't care about that award anymore either.
I was going to say big men don't have to go 94 feet, up in someone's grill the entire time. I know this is the fast break, but I want to do a little no huddle right now as well. The college football playoff system after its first year, I'd say it was a pretty good success overall, with a lot of really good games. However, gentlemen, each team that received a first-round bye lost their first game, and we have to change things. We can't let things, bake a little bit, right? So today it was announced that we are no longer giving the top 4 seeds to the conference winners. We're giving it to the top 4 teams in the FBS. So now Notre Dame, for example, is eligible for that. So if the top 4 teams are 2 Big Ten, Notre Dame, 3 Big Ten and a Notre Dame, for example, those would be the teams that get the bye. And then that's how we're going to seed the teams. Overall, Rod, what's your thought on that?
Yay. Congratulations, college football, for doing it right. I mean, Arizona State, party school, ruin it for everybody. They win their division and get a playoff game, and everybody's up in arms about it. And all it took was 1 year for that to go away. So thanks, Arizona State, for ruining it for all of us.
Well, now they'd still be in the playoffs. They just wouldn't get a first-round bye because they are still guaranteed to be in the playoffs.
I
so
understand.
Whoever wins the championship is in the – yeah. Chris?
I think if you are against having conferences in college sports, then this is what you want. If you want to keep conferences meaning something, then you keep it the way it was, because otherwise, what's the goal for winning the conference? Right?
It's getting in the playoffs now. So like in Arizona State is still in the playoffs, they're just not the 3rd seed or 4th seed.
Yeah, but win the conference and then you get that bye. That's like something extra. That's like you accomplish something other people that are getting into the playoffs couldn't do, right? I'm just saying, do you think like if it was a Penn State last year, you think they should have deserved a bye just because they may have been in the top?
They were ranked. They were ranked 4th.
Do you think they deserved a bye? They couldn't even win the conference.
Yeah, they got beat by the number 1 team though in Oregon.
But you really think Arizona State deserved one, Chris? Like, your argument's not wrong in theory, but do you really think Arizona State deserved one
I
last
am
year?
pro-conference. I want the conferences to mean something. So I want the conference championship to mean something. So then if that's what it takes, then yes, I'm for it. Otherwise, why even have conferences?
Well, that's the thing, Chris. There's going to be 2 conferences. The SEC and the Big Ten, and there's going to be SEC East, West, and Central. Big Ten, East, West, and Central, and then you can just go from there. That's what's going to be moving forward. So
I was going to say, like, what tradition are you trying to hold on to at this point, Chris? Like, honestly, we got 12 teams in a playoff, dude. Like, what tradition are you trying to hold on to at this point? Notre Dame is selling alcohol at their stadium to pay their athletes. Like, what tradition are you holding on to at this point?
Listen, I am just happy that I happen to be a fan of a team that's in the Big Ten, even though it's not 10 anymore and it's getting way big. And I like being able to say that my conference is better than your conference. And that's basically it. Like, it's definitely selfish reasons, but I like it. And so that's where I'm going to stand.
If UCLA wins the Big Ten, you're going to talk smack to Alabama, feeling that your region represented itself better in football than they did.
My conference is better than the SEC, yes.
You are so full of equivocations, even though you're trying to be the traditionalist here. It's not even funny.
Oh, that long-standing Oregon Big Ten. Remember back in 2024. Oh, goodness, that was good times. And you've been listening to the Fast Break on the More You Knows Podcast Network. Coming up next on TMYK Live, we've got the Yeah We Know podcast.
I take my rightful place at the head of the table. Believe that.
And welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows Podcasting Network. In the room with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. Rod, you thought Jeff Cobb was bad. JC Mateo, hold my beer.
At least that sounds like an island name, though, so you can understand why they're trying to do that if they're putting him down into the whole bloodline of it all, right? So JC Mateo sounds like somebody who might be a bit of a Pacific Islander. JC is at least his initials. I don't know where we got Mateo from, but listen, I was complaining
his middle
about
name, Jeffrey Matthew Cobb.
Oh, well, either way.
Maybe.
Yeah. Either way, I still say JC Mateo is better than Jeff Cobb.
Chris, help me here. Rod's wrong.
Both are equally ridiculous, and you can't go wrong with either one.
Also, we need to now. It was an impromptu match, but that better not be JC Mateo's ring gear. Let's just get that taken care of right now. I hated it for the record. We have a big Money in the Bank coming up. Of course, we also have Saturday's main event coming up this weekend. We'll talk about here in a minute. But Alexa Bliss is in Money in the Bank. Rod, do you think Alexa is going to get that push to the Money in the Bank briefcase?
It seems as if Alexa Bliss is on a contract where we only truck her out for Elimination Chamber matches, Royal Rumble matches, Money in the Bank matches, right? It seems as if we're not trying to have storylines with Alexa Bliss to get us through regular weeks. We just need her to show up when we have multiple women fighting for something. So, no, I do not think Alexa Bliss is going to get a push out of this match.
All right, Chris, I have a question for you. As a brand new wrestling fan, how do you like Fraxium? Okay.
I need time, right? I just need some more time. I think
time.
I need some time, right?
Jim,
Like
Jim, I need a minute.
I just need. I want to see more. Let's put it that way. I'm not writing them off. I just need to see more. I'm always excited for new talent. So like, let me get used to them.
So as Rod, as you mentioned, last week, we have some very small in stature teams. I think that helps when they wrestle each other. But again, when you go against larger individuals, it does. It's a really interesting contrast there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and the Street Profits are going to look big compared to a lot of guys. So we have that. The War Raiders are going to look big compared to a lot of guys. So that's trouble there. But the majority of the other tag teams that they are going to have storylines with are smaller dudes, right? Your DIY, they're not incredibly huge. Your Motor City Machine Guns, they're not incredibly huge. You know what I mean? Your Angel and Birdo, I'm not even entirely sure if they're together anymore. You know what I mean? So like none of these other guys are huge. So that's good. I'm all in on Fraxium. They seem to have a bit of personality, right? They don't seem to be taking themselves too incredibly serious, which I dig, right? Like there's just too many self-serious people in the WWE from time to time, right? That's why like I love me some Pretty Deadly and I love me some Fraxium. Give me some people that aren't taking it as serious, that aren't just like, oh my God, this is all life or death, and if I lose, it's the worst thing in my world. Like I get it, you know what I mean? I'm not against people that do that, but I don't need every single person in the WWE to be that way. So I like what Fraxium's shown me so far.
Another new act came back is Aleister Black. He and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner, Carmelo Hayes, went to a no contest because that's what every match in WWE goes to now, apparently, again. We had a good run there, guys. We had a good run. Now it's back to nothing. Chris, Aleister Black, you've had a couple weeks now. Do you still need some time, or are you liking Aleister Black?
I'm digging on Aleister Black, right?
Okay.
I want to see. I do want to see what they do with him, if they're going to push him a certain way. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Right? Good work in the ring.
Good work in the ring. Speaking of good work in the ring, we had a triple threat match between Uso, Phoenix, and Sikoa. And Solo Sikoa won a match and is going on for Money in the Bank. Rod, does he pull an Austin Theory here?
No, I don't think so.
But does he pull an Austin Theory?
I don't think so. I don't think Solo wins here. I really don't. I think somebody else is going to win the Money in the Bank briefcase, and I feel sorry for Solo, right? Because he had his shot, and he had to be labeled as the heel, and so he caught a lot of boos, and then he had to get beat by Roman, and so Roman's ascension came at the expense of Solo. But I think Solo is very charismatic. I think he's underrated on the microphone, and I think the dude can wrestle, but I don't know if there's a huge storyline available for him right now, because I think people like all gas, no brakes with it way more than they like Solo Sikoa.
So I'm going to talk about Kevin Owens, my boy. Kevin Owens here. He got hurt, so they needed a new Kevin Owens, right? And they got the new Kevin Owens, and unfortunately, it's also our boy, LA Knight. Yeah! Who can lose every match, and people still like him. He was the sacrificial lamb to JC Mateo this week. It is what it is, right?
LA Knight can do no wrong in the eyes of the fans right now, Jimmy. I love you for pointing that out. He went from a guy who was Max Dupree, who they weren't going to allow wrestle, to now being someone that like you basically pull out when you're like, oh God, we don't have anything. We need something that seems like a big deal. Give me LA Knight, right? And you pull out LA Knight, you get the big crowd pop. He comes in and he's even starting to impress me with his wrestling repertoire. He's not going deep into the bag, right? We know there's going to be anywhere between 5 to 6 moves, but he's getting a lot better at stringing them together, and he makes them look high impact. So I continue to appreciate what Mr. Knight brings to the squared circle.
Chris.
Yeah, you guys are both right, but man, it just I just want him to get a belt back on him. Just keep. If you just tease me a little bit more, WWE, and like make me think he's going to get a belt a little bit more often, like I'll be happy. But like, at least make me think it's possible, because I'm worried that he becomes just another guy to come out, get the pop, and get beat.
Rod, we've learned that Chris likes a little tease, but likes to take his time. So
He does. He does. He likes
that's what we like.
He likes the anticipation of it all.
Nia Jax got destroyed by Tiffany Stratton, right to the face with a chair, drop kick, right bloody everywhere. We'll talk about Raw here in a minute, but not pretty. Tiffany Stratton is still your champion, though, Chris.
It's still Tiffy time. I think it's going to be like that for a minute.
Yeah, I don't see her losing anytime soon. But again, Rod, like you like to point out, and that's on her.
Yes. How many victims are going to have to fall to Tiffany Stratton's inexperience? Huh? I mean, honestly, Jimmy, you come here and you talk about how
100%.
Nia Jax really hurts people. You come on here and you talk about how sometimes Charlotte isn't the best person to work in the ring with because she's not going to do you any favors. And Tiffy, I don't care that you look like $1 million and the crowd pops for you. You need to figure out how to be a better coworker. And this constantly hurting people that you're getting in the ring with or doing terrible promos with them because you're just not polished enough. It's not working, man. Like, I get the idea behind putting a rocket ship on somebody because you need to create new stars. But sometimes when you put a rocket ship on somebody, the ripple effects are bad. And we're seeing some of that with Tiffany Stratton right now, I fear.
And that's crazy because she's worked mostly with Nia Jax and Charlotte Flair, right? Those are two people that you probably don't want to be learning all the best tricks from.
Well, I mean, Charlotte is a legend in the ring, but yeah, we got to take it slow. You've got to take it slow. And I think it was it Chris Jericho or Lance Storm that said he got some advice, from somebody, just take it slow. No, slower. Always go slower, just because it builds up more. The people get a chance to see what you're doing. If you're thinking too much, you're moving too quick, and you're going to make mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, we had a triple threat on Raw again. Kairi Sane returns, not in the right spot. Zoe Stark. It's so strange because, obviously these are scripted moves, right? And some people think they have to do it no matter what. And Zoe went for it, and she ripped her knee bad, and she's going to be out for some time now. It really stinks. And then also, that was at the beginning of the match, Rod. It was a triple threat that she was supposed to get pinned, because there's no way they're pinning Kairi on her first match back. So Kairi and Rhea had to go from a triple threat to a one-on-one match that turned out fine, but we had that bad injury.
But we also knew that was bad times for Kairi Sane because, like you said, unfortunately she had to take the pin.
Yeah.
But there was zero chance that she was beating Rhea Ripley. So once Zoe went down, and rough for Zoe, she was basically set up to be the new Shayna Baszler with Shayna Baszler's exit from the company, and now Zoe probably can't wrestle for 18 months.
It is sad. Finn Balor, JD McDonough defeated Penta and AJ Styles. When your boy, what's his name, Rod? What's the luchador's name?
El Grande Americano.
Going for the mask again. We're going to do mask versus mask coming up. I would assume it's SummerSlam between Penta and El Grande Americano. There were so many matches that ended in disqualification or run-ins or something. It really kind of took me out of it, Chris.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, and you're not wrong. You said it earlier, and it made me think back. And we have had a good run with a lot of, supposedly clean finishes. Not disqualifications, but now we're starting to get a whole lot more. Every single match, someone is coming out. Every single time, doing something.
Yeah. Hey, our boy Sheamus. Let's go. Got a win over Grayson Waller. We like Sheamus. We want to see him do better. He got a win. And it looks like they're finally maybe going to break up Theory and Waller, but it's only been like 2 years now. So
Theory was getting some pops. I think the crowd was shifting on him a little bit. I think this may give Austin Theory his most beneficial run in a couple of years, ever since he won the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Jey Uso and Braun Breaker were your main event, and it ended clean with Breaker pinning. No. I thought they did pretty well together. It's one of those matches, though. Why you're giving that away early? Obviously, heaven forbid you have the world champion beat somebody. And Rod, this is what happens when you have your Daniel Bryans, you have your Jey Usos. If they're the world champion, they need to be pinning the people they're wrestling. Rod.
They certainly do. Jey Uso is still one of those guys that can benefit from being built up. There's still some question amongst hardcore Twitter wrestling fans who I'm not necessarily sure that we have to appease those guys at all times, but at least it does provide a baseline for some conversation that might be out there. And people question Uso a little bit. The crowd still definitely loves him. So, you know what I mean? It would have been more beneficial to see him get a win there. It's just, I don't know where we're going ultimately with Uso. You know what I mean? I really don't. Like, with how much he's loved and like with the way his character is, I don't know if he's going to be great with a blood feud with anybody. So I don't know. I'm really kind of confused with all of it with Jay right now. Like, I get where Sammy's at. I get where Phil's at. I clearly get where my guy Seth's at, but I don't know where we're going with Jay.
I think they had an opportunity that they missed. He made Gunther tap out. Why is he not choking out everybody else that he comes into the ring with and making them tap out or pass out? Right? You want me to believe, because I'm not a Jey Uso fan, but you want me to believe in him as a champion? Make him start making people tap out and choke out.
No, Chris, I don't want to see any sleeper finishes. Stop it.
Not the sleeper. Let's do something different. Let's do something other than the sleeper. But I see where you're going. I think that's a good idea, Chris, where you have him tap people out because he is such a badass world champion. But that's not what we're having right now. We're still getting the super kicks. Of course, then Logan Paul, who early in the show got into it with Jey Uso, comes in at the end, gets the punch. I don't care anything about Logan Paul. I'm sorry. He's really good in the ring. His matches are good. I just don't care about the character right now, Rod. I really don't, because it's like the Alexa Bliss thing where it's, he'll be here whenever he wants to be.
So basically, Logan Paul for you is Phil for Chris and I, right?
He's not. He doesn't wrestle every week, though. Phil
doesn't wrestle. Oh, stop it.
He doesn't wrestle. He's there every week. He's there every week. Logan Paul
Stop
isn't.
it. Just stop it. He's there every week.
I'm sorry, CM Punk isn't at Raw every week. I'm sorry, my bad.
No, he's not. Not every week.
He wasn't there this week. He didn't come down. No. You're right. Well, that's my fault.
I just wanted to get you fired up about Phil.
WWE Saturday night's main event, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm sure one of Logan Paul's people is going to come out and try to cause something to happen. Jey Uso has to pin Logan Paul here, right, Chris?
If you want me to believe Jey Uso as a champion, yes, he better pin or make Logan tap out, right? Other than that, give me anarchy and put the belt on Logan Paul and let me see how many people get mad.
Rod, would you get mad if they put the belt on Logan Paul?
No, I would not be mad if they put the belt on Logan Paul. I would welcome them putting the belt on Logan Paul because it would get us out of our Jey Uso problem. So I'm going Logan Paul wins at Saturday night's main event, setting up a huge match between him and somebody at SummerSlam.
Jey Uso. Get that back. Actually, you know what I would like to see? I would like to see Gunther and Logan Paul, just to see Logan Paul's chest afterwards, because Gunther would destroy him. And I think that would be a pretty fun match. CM Punk and Phil and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker in a tag team matchup. I've got to give this to Seth and Braun on this one. I think they're going to win, probably nefariously. Maybe we get a third member coming in, perhaps. Who knows?
Third man. Chris? Who's the third man?
Please be Hogan, Chris.
No, I'm going with Seth and Braun. I think they take them. I think Sammy gets pinned, of course.
Yeah, Rod, it's not looking good for Sami Zayn, is it?
Definitely not. Sammy, you might want to go back to your days of thinking the WWE is against you and you were filming a documentary about a conspiracy against all Canadians. You may want to go back to that because this match is not going to end good for you. We can't have Braun and Seth going down to defeat this early, so they are definitely going to win. They are definitely going to win nefariously, and I'd say there's a very good chance we get a third member of the group. I don't know who that would be, and I'm not willing to 100% predict it, but I think you're onto something there, Jim.
You know what would be really stupid? Cody Rhodes.
We haven't seen him for a while.
Bad guy comes back. But he'd be in the same group as Seth Rollins, though. So that doesn't really work for me.
No, because Cody and Seth got to fight again, right?
Yeah.
Or CM Punk and Seth got to fight again.
Yeah. Or Sammy turns on CM Punk, and everyone beats up Phil, and he's out for 6 months. You guys would love it.
Let's go. He might be out for 6 months even if they give him the match win. So, I mean, that doesn't really matter, Jim.
John Cena
Thank you, Rod.
Truth. Yeah. We'll talk about Charlotte Flair's match here in a second. John Cena versus R-Truth in a non-title match. Over under 4.5 minutes on this match.
Under.
I think it might go a little higher. It's not going to be that much more. I think John
Cena
wins.
Are you going from the time the bell rings?
Bell rings. Yeah.
Yeah, then under.
Why is it a non-title match?
Rod?
Why is it a non-title match? What's John Cena afraid of? He can't put the title up against friggin' Ron Killings?
R-Truth doesn't want the title. He's just trying to prove that that's not the real John Cena.
The title should be up.
I love me some R-Truth. In a match I'm looking forward to, and I think it's going to be the best match on the card, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre steel cage match. They don't care. They're going to go after each other. They're going to kill each other. McIntyre, I think he's going to go after a championship here soon. Drew McIntyre, Chris.
Give me my boy Drew. But it's going to be a great match, I think.
Priest.
He needs it too, you know.
Drew to me is just the same thing we were talking about with LA Knight, the same thing we were talking about with Kevin Owens. Drew McIntyre's got charisma, he's got ability, he's got a name, he's going to get pops. They're going to be boo pops, they're going to be cheer pops, but they're getting a reaction. Drew McIntyre doesn't need a belt. He's doing just fine. Damian Priest, I don't know what Damian Priest is if he doesn't get this win.
And before we leave, WrestleMania 42. No longer in New Orleans because a new higher bid apparently came in for WrestleMania 42. Where is this going to be, and why am I very nervous that it's not going to be in the continental United States?
Because you know exactly where it's going to be. You know exactly where it's going to be.
This might be our 2-night Saudi Arabia WrestleMania.
Sports washing, baby. Sports washing. The WWE was one of the first to get in bed, and now they are just reaping the benefits, and they just pissed all over the city of New Orleans to take even more money from the Middle East. Congratulations, TKO. It's not enough that you have the prime hydration rack. It's not enough that you sell out 6 different advertisements on the ring. It's not enough that every single match is sponsored by some different entity. It's not enough that a sponsor hits a video board wrapped all around the circle. It's not enough that Michael Cole does ad reads and that we break to commercial 16 different times. You've got to screw the city of New Orleans after making it a big deal for saying WrestleMania is coming back because the Saudis are going to give you some more blood money. Congratulations, TKO Corporation. Congratulations. You got the money.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcast network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Rod, and Chris.
Speaking of getting the money, does anybody see what this is right here? This is the old Hulk Hogan Thunder mixer, ladies and gentlemen. New in box, never been opened. My buddy Larry Darmanin hooked me up with this right here. And the cool story behind this is Hogan was given the choice between the Mr. Thunder and the George Foreman grill. And Hulk said, nobody wants to buy a grill. Give me the mixer. Yet again, another mistake Hogan made in his career.
Goodbye, net. Yeah.
And if you've got a secret that you want kept, give it to a luchador. All right, I tried to find a picture of Penta the other day. Couldn't find his real name. Couldn't find a picture of him without the mask on. It's like the closely guarded secret in the entire world.
His face is painted underneath that mask. Even if he loses a mask fight, you're not going to see his face.
I couldn't even find his real name. Or where he's from. Or if he really does weigh 87 kilos.